There's a thing called the tone scale. And on the tone scale is emotions. So if somebody won the lottery, their emotion's going to be enthusiasm, way up here. If they've had somebody in their family die, they're at the bottom of the tone scale, they're down here at death. That's a big distance. There's a bunch of emotions in between those two places. So what I want you to understand is you can only be a couple tone scales away from somebody to communicate with them. If you're in a different tone scale that's too far away, you can't communicate. If I just won the lottery and Ryan's had a family member die, I can't communicate with him because our emotions are too far apart. Now, if somebody in the middle of the tone scale is an emotion called boredom, if somebody's in boredom and I'm really joyful, I can drop down to boredom and say, yeah, this is a good idea, and I think that it won't work either, and go along with them, and then I can start to move their emotion up, but I have to go down to their emotion. So if you're having an emotion that's a long way away from the emotion, you can't communicate with them. You've got to get to where they are, because at that point you can move them. But until you go there, you can't move them because they're not in the same energy level. It's kind of like radio stations. You can't listen to 99.5 when you've got 93.1 dialed in. You got to get to that same place so you can move them. And if you can't move them, if somebody's had a horrible experience, then realize that you can't move them. Don't try and change them. Because once you start telling somebody how they feel or what they should do, you're only going to make them madder or more upset. So if there's somebody in an emotional tone scale that's very low, leave them there if you can't move them. Remember, that's the emotional mind.